to one and all. We are starting with our lesson number 16, that is heredity and variations. Now, in this particular chapter, we will be learning into very new concepts of genetics. We will be learning very new words like genes, DNA, chromosomes, inheritance, and all of complete new vocabulary. Okay, and I also want all of you to be very, very attentive, as this chapter will be acting as a foundation lesson even for your 10th standard. Okay, so to begin with the chapter, we will start with some basic questions and answers. You will have to use your common sense, look at the picture and tell me or give the answer. Okay, now what is the difference between the two flowers? Now on the screen comes the two flowers. You will have to tell me what is the difference between them. First is the image on the left hand side, and second is the image on right hand side. You'll have to tell me what's the difference between them. Very good. So the first thing which most of the students are answering correctly is the color is different. Now here is the second question based on same image. Why are these two roses present with different colors? Or don't you think, since they have two different colors, they might have something inside them which is not common? Correct. Here I am getting second correct answer. That is the pigment is differing. Very good. Now, where do the pigments come from? Where do the pigments come from? Okay, let's try answering this question in a more simpler way. Pigments are present within the plant's body? Yes. So that means if they're present in the plant's body, they have to be somewhere inside the plant itself. Correct? And we are going to unfold this truth that where are these pigments located? And if they're not located, where do they come from? We all are aware that most of the leaves are green in color because they have a pigment called as chlorophyll, which is present inside them, which is also responsible for photosynthesis. Correct? We have learned this in our earlier class. But what about color of petals? Okay, for all such unanswered questions, we will be finding an answer very soon. Okay, now let's move on to the second slide. Now on this particular slide, I am going to show you two images, of which the first image is of father and the second image is of the son. Okay, so the two images which are going to come in front of your screen, the first one is belonging to the father of his own childhood days, and the second image is of his own son in his childhood days. Okay, so that's the father's image when the father was small, and the second one is the son's image. Now looking at the picture, what is your first reaction? What does the image say? Yes, the first thing which comes to mind, oh my god, they are very similar. Now just focus on the features. The cheeks are very much similar. Even the teeth are very similar, the arrangement. The hairs are a bit curly, same. The structure of eye and eyebrows is also same. Yes, even the fluffy nose. So we feel that the son is very much copy of the father, right? But the son also has a very minute differences. Yes. Okay, correct. Now tell me what makes the child very similar looking like the father. Okay, now here are the answers bombarding in the chat box like genes, DNA, hereditary, all of that. But do you actually know what is a gene? If we say that because of genes, the son is looking similar like that of the father, where are genes present? In the body? Correct. Where in the body? In chromosome, in blood, in DNA, in cells, in nucleus. Lots of answers. Correct? So here is one more unanswered question of which we need to find an answer. Okay, now I'll take you to the second image, which is also first image is of father and the second is of the daughter. Now here at least the genders are same, correct? Let's have a look at the second image. So the first image is of the father and the second image on the right hand side is of his own daughter. What's the first reaction? So can I say that even though the child's gender is different, there will be few similarities and there will be few differences as well? Yes. So we are right now just observing the images and then we will conclude. Okay. Now the next slide is going to be very, what can I say? Known to all of you. It's that famous actress from Bollywood industry and her son. I want you to identify them first and then comment on the photo. Here we go. Yes, correct. And the son. Are there similarities too? Sometimes we say yes, sometimes we say no. That means, can I say that the children or the kids of the parents are not 100% copy? They show a minute difference. And because there is slight difference present in the kids, can I say because of the difference, parents and kids are not same? Can I call this difference as variation? Correct? Now, why does the baby of any couple will have differentiation, or I would say variation, as compared to that of parent? Because a child is a blend of a pair of parent. That means half of the things are going to come from maternal side and half of the things are going to come from paternal side. Correct? And in दोनों के cells का combination will be the child. Now can we predict the combination 50-50, 60-40, 70-30? Absolutely not. We cannot predict the combination. Okay, so now let's just conclude. Now what do we know is these images helps us to understand that there is something which is getting inherited from parents to their children. Do you agree with this? Okay, great. Now let's understand what is the meaning of word inherited. I knew it. This would be a doubt. Okay. Now the meaning of the word inherited is एक जनरेशन से दूसरे जनरेशन में पास ऑन होना. Now let's say I'll give you an example. Do we have some hereditary land or maybe a hereditary or family necklace or a jewelry piece which will be passed on from one generation to another generation? Correct? So something which is passed on from one generation to the next generation is called as inherited. Okay? So what's the meaning of inherited? Something that's passed on from one generation to another generation. Now I want you to write the meaning of this word. So once you give the heading, lesson number 16, I want you to start the first page with a heading called as dictionary words. And under that, this will be your first dictionary words. Assuming that you all are honestly writing. Is it done? Okay. Now we will be continuing with few more words so that it will be easier for us to understand the next upcoming concepts. Variations. What is variations? The difference which you are able to see between any two individuals, or the difference which we are able to see between the parents and their kids. This is termed as variation. दोनों के बीच का difference. Okay. Now, if you have understood the meaning of the word, let me frame it quickly in a sentence and kindly answer my question that did you understand or not? Okay. So here we go with the sentence. There are two dogs which are giving birth to 5 puppies, and all of the puppies are different from each other. This means that they show variations. Is the sentence correct? Yes. Are you understanding how these words will be used? Cool. Let's move on to the second word, offsprings. Now, what do we mean by the term offsprings? Kisi ke bacche. So instead of using the word as bacche, we will be using the term as offspring. Because we are learning biology, we are not only learning humans. So if I am using the word offspring in a sentence as the dog gave birth to 5 puppies, which are their offsprings. Is it correct? Okay. So offsprings are nothing but young ones of parents. Next, siblings. Siblings means your brothers or sisters. They will be referred as siblings. Correct. In your language, bro or sis. Now this will be a new word, progeny. Now progeny ka meaning is generation. Now what generation am I talking? Let's say our grandparents are one generation, then the next generation is of our parents, and uncles and aunties, and then we, third generation. Okay, once you all grow up, get married, and you have kids, next progeny will be born. That means next generation will take birth. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next word. Very, very important. Heredity. What is heredity? Just say we have seen the last slide that there are few characters which are passed from one parent to their offspring. So transfer of these characters from parents to offsprings is called as heredity. Giving you quickly 1 minute to write. I want you all to write this five words and understand them. Still any doubt, do let me know quickly in the chat box. Okay, there is a doubt in the chat box. What is the meaning of prodigy? Actually, it's not in the syllabus, but the meaning of the word prodigy is a person with an extraordinary talent. No, you cannot use the word progeny instead of offsprings. Offsprings meaning the newly born, or you can also refer it as someone's child. When I mean the word progeny, I am referring it to the entire generation. Okay, now after learning all the basics, ये हम जो भी पढ़ रहे हैं, that means we are studying inheritance, we will be studying DNA, we will be studying chromosomes and all different things जो एक जनरेशन से दूसरे जनरेशन में जा रहे हैं. So all such topics will come under a common title called as genetics. So what are we exactly learning right now? We are learning a branch of science, or I would say a branch of biology, which deals with the study of genes, its process, how do they work, how do they function, how many different processes are there. We will be studying different inheritance pattern. ये सब कुछ एक common title के अंदर आएगा, which is called as genetics. So fair idea about what are we going to learn? Okay, I know that still there'll be a lot of doubts piled up. What is DNA? What's chromosome? Where is it? How do they work? How do they function? Why is variation present? We will be answering all those questions one by one, because genetics ka understanding starts when we start understanding what is present inside the cell. So are you guys ready for the story? Okay, I want you all to nicely pay attention. Okay, now we all living organisms are made up of what, which makes us living? Cells, of course. Now when I say cell, I'm sure that an image comes to your mind. A globular structure. If it's a plant cell, it will have cell wall as an external membrane. If it's an animal cell, it will look like the image which you're able to see on the screen. external covering will be present, which is made up of plasma membrane. When I cut open the cell, we will start imagining various different cell organelles, which will have cytoplasm, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi, mitochondria, vacuole, lysosome, nucleus. Correct? Now, what do we need to focus is cell ka nucleus. Okay, so we've cut open the cell, and in this particular chapter, what we will be especially learning is what happens inside the nucleus. Okay, now when I'm saying inside the nucleus, and if I'm saying that I'm cutting open the cell and I'm looking from upward direction, तो ऊपर से तो मुझे ये ऐसे दिखेगा, राइट? Like a half opened lemon or maybe oranges, but सब semi liquid state में रहेगा. Okay, now are you able to make out where is nucleus? Very good. How will you understand where is the nucleus? Because nucleus ka covering, that's made up of nuclear membrane, is in contact with endoplasmic reticulum. Correct? So this entire red color structure becomes your nucleus. Okay, now what are you able to see inside the nucleus? Nucleus के अंदर क्या दिख रहा है? Roads, waves, green something. Is the structure even? Absolutely not. But one correct spherical structure is seen, which is in green in color. Yes. So we all know that nucleus has a very small spherical structure called as nucleolus. Okay, and we have studied this even in our 8th standard. Yes, function of nucleolus is to make ribosomes, synthesis of ribosomes. Let's not talk about nucleolus right now. Let's just imagine and remember that cell के अंदर nucleus है. न्यूक्लियस के अंदर और एक छोटा सा स्फेरिकल स्ट्रक्चर है जिसको हम लोग न्यूक्लियोलस कहते हैं. बट अदर देन न्यूक्लियोलस, आर देयर एनीथिंग एल्स present inside the nucleus? Yes. Now we will be studying this anything or the thing which is very very important. इसको हम लोग क्या कहते हैं? Now remember, have you ever seen a fish food which is made up of insects? If no, please use your imagination. It They will just look like a ball of threads nicely coiled, within themselves. Or just imagine a ball of thread. Okay, vegetarians के लिए safer side है. Fine. So you have a ball of thread, and this is how exactly nucleus के अंदर का material looks like. Fine. Irregular, messed up, jumbled up, लेकिन made up of thread. Remember that. Yeah, completely tangled. So whenever the cell is doing its own function, चुपचाप अपना काम कर रहा है, उस टाइम को हम लोग कहेंगे that the cell is resting. That means cell is doing its own function but not doing something extra. So when the cell is at rest, the material inside the nucleus, which is that tangled form of thread, that material will be called as chromatin network. I am repeating once again. जब कभी भी सेल अपना खुद को काम करेगा, because we know that each and every cell has got its own function. So when that cell is performing its own function चुपचाप से, without doing any extraordinary work, we will say that the cell is at rest. मतलब किसी भी आजू बाजू के सेल को कोई भी तकलीफ नहीं दे रहा है. Okay, and when the cell is at rest, उस टाइम पे inside the nucleus ये जो थ्रेड लाइक मटेरियल है जो ऐसे टैंगल्ड स्कैटर्ड दिखेगा, उस मटेरियल को वी विल बी कॉलिंग इट एज क्रोमैटिन नेटवर्क. In different part of the book, or I would say in different part of the textbook, it will be also referred as chromatin material. Or it will be also called as chromatin fiber. So there are how many names for it, for the thread like structure? 3. Chromatin network, chromatin material, chromatin fiber. Can you guys repeat? Wherever you're sitting right now. First, chromatin network, chromatin material, chromatin fiber. यहाँ तक clear है? Okay. Now with a pencil, please draw a rough sketch, make a cell, and in that, what's my interest is that you are able to draw a nucleus, label the nucleus, and please label the chromatin network. Any random ball of thread, but it should be within the nucleus. Yes, just draw the nucleus. I just want you to draw this image which you are able to see on the screen. You can exclude drawing the other or the rest cell organelles, but please draw the cell, nucleus, and chromatin network and label them properly. Okay, now there is till the time you guys are drawing, I am answering the questions present in the chat box. That will this chromatin material will be present inside the nucleus or inside the nucleolus? ये inside the nucleus रहेगा, nucleolus के अंदर नहीं जाएगा. And we will learn this in stepwise manner. So till the time we are not completing the entire story, please wait for a while. All your doubts will be cleared. Is it done? Okay. Now focus on the chromatin network. Do you remember that I had said whenever the cell is at rest, at that time, this tangled thread-like material will be referred as chromatin network. Correct? Now there is one more twist which you need to remember. This thread, okay, This thread is nothing but our DNA. Okay, so chromatin network is nothing but our DNA. So imagine if I am saying one cell, how small is one cell? Very microscopic, which we aren't able to even see through our naked eyes. इस सेल के न्यूक्लियस के अंदर अपना डीएनए है. So can you imagine how fine the thread like threads will be or the fibers would be? Okay, that's good. Remember, chromatin network is nothing but our DNA. Now let's move on with the next twist. Okay, we know that DNA is also called as deoxyribose nucleic acid. I believe that you know the abbreviation of this DNA, but if you aren't knowing, please make note of it. Now, from the word, what comes to our mind? DNA is an acid. Yes, deoxyribose nucleic acid. So, can I say inside the nucleus of a cell there is presence of nucleic acids? Correct? Okay. Now, there are basically two types of nucleic acids. It could be either deoxyribose nucleic acid, that is DNA, or it could be ribose nucleic acid, which is also called as RNA. अभी के लिए we need to only focus on DNA. Fine. Now I want you to boost your imagination to one more next level. Okay. I hope it sounds interesting. So DNA will be always referred in this particular structure because it is a model proposed by Watson and Crick. कि DNA are the is that thread like material which is present in this double helical form or in double helix form. So don't get confused. Both agar see if I'm giving you a thread in this double helix form and if I'm asking you to compactly pack it in a very small tiny what can I say, a very tiny purse or a very tiny space, what will you do? क्या ये structure ऐसे ही रहेगा inside that small compartment wherever you want to fit it? No, it will just look like an extremely tangled thread. Yes, correct, it is going to look crumbled. That's how your nucleus looks, and we refer that material as chromatin material. Okay, now let me take you to one more step next. Okay, as I said, if this is a thread, let me open this thread and let me put it and stretch it nicely opened. So imagine अगर मैं एक सेल ले रही हूँ, उस सेल से उसका न्यूक्लियस में से मैं उसका डीएनए बाहर निकाल रही हूँ. Now I am just measuring the length of one cell's DNA. What do you think? How much would be the length? See, a cell is very microscopic, which we cannot see through our naked eyes. It will be having a nucleus, which even we cannot see through our naked eyes. And iske andar ka very, very fine, thin thread-like material is what we are going to remove outside. So technically, if we think, we think that it will be very small? But to a surprising, each one eukaryotic cell's DNA's length is approximately 2 meters in its length. So that's the amazing fact. If we take entire bodies, cells, DNA outside, and if we just arrange it one after another, our human body's length is from Earth to Moon and back from Moon to Earth. That's a cool fact, right? Yes, and I'm only talking about one single person's. Okay, let's come outside of your amazing fact and let's focus on our cell's DNA. Okay, now we need to be a little more experimental. What we are going to do is we will be taking, yes, listen, we will be, what if we unwind the DNA? Then don't you think it will just look like a simple thread? Maybe very, very thin, but very fine long thread. We've disrupted even the ladder portion. एक simple thread जैसे दिखेगा. So let's assume that this DNA is unwound. So this is the DNA. When you look at the chromatin material this way, you call it as DNA. But when it is present inside the cell's nucleus and when the cell is in its rest position, it will look like this. This will be called as chromatin material. Both are same material. अगर मैं इस डीएनए को अच्छे से फोल्ड करके एक छोटे से स्पेस में रखूं तो डोंट यू थिंक इट विल लुक सेम? Yes, it will. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just unwinding it and I'm making it, or I'm putting it just that thread like material here. Okay, so let's focus on that completely unwound DNA, which is now a very, very fine thread. Are you ready to explore the DNA? Okay, now here is the DNA, and what I'm going to do, I'm only going to select a very small part of DNA. Okay, now this small part of the DNA will be little magnified so that हमें DNA के अंदर क्या क्या है वो अच्छे से दिखेगा. Okay, and when I'm magnifying this part of the DNA, it will look something like this. And I'm magnifying it little more. No, it's not hollow. Then I'm finding that there are small compartments in the DNA. Yes, correct. Now, not all of the compartments are very similar to each other. So what are these compartments? Let's understand. Okay. Each one small compartment inside the DNA is called as a gene. Each one small compartment inside the DNA is called as gene. So this is one gene, second gene, third, fourth, fifth. So there will be n number of genes. काफी सारे genes रहेंगे. Okay. But before taking your story ahead from the genes, kindly let me know, do you have any doubts till gene part? Any doubts, please? Now answer my questions quickly. I'm assuming that you have understood the correlation. Can I say that DNA is present inside the nucleus of the cell? Okay, yes. If you know gene is a part of DNA, can I say genes are present inside the nucleus of the cells? Yes. If you know that chromatin material and DNA are one and the same, can I also say genes are present on the chromatin material? Absolutely yes. Big congratulations, you have understood a very big concept. Give a pat on your back. Now, one more small shock. Hello? Okay, now there's one more small shock, and it will be an interesting shock. Then we can end the lecture. Now let's first understand what is a gene. We have just known that genes are small compartments, but what do they do? The main thing, okay? Understand, each and every compartment will have information. I'm repeating, listen to me very carefully. Each and every compartment will have information, and this information will be present in coded form, just like as information of the computer is present on the chip. Yes, really, and this is the truth. So each gene will have information inside it. And what is the information about? The information is about how to make a protein. Which information am I talking? How to make a protein. Okay. This information will be coding for production of protein. So let me use a better word. Instead of the word of production, I will use the word synthesis because it's a synonym of the word production. So can I say that genes have got information inside them which are responsible for protein synthesis? Do you agree with me? So production is also called as protein synthesis. Now, if you've agreed and if you have understood gene, let's quickly understand the definition. If you have so far understood the concept, the definition is very clearly given even in the textbook. Here you go with the definition. What is gene? The segment of DNA which contains all the information for synthesis of a particular protein is called as gene for that protein. I'm repeating it once again. What is gene? It's the segment of DNA which contains all the information for synthesis of a particular protein is called as gene for that protein. Okay? Time's up for now.